Griffin here from Strictly Paintball, doing my quick and dirty rough draft first gun review, boxing, opening, whatever you want to call it. So today I got my Hostile Ink Rogue in today. I've been wanting to shoot one of these since I first saw them on Alex Hodges' page when he was doing the designing. Very, very impressed so far. Let's start from the beginning. The case. I don't really care that it has an awesome case, but if you happen to care about the packaging that your gun comes in, you're going to love this. Very sturdily built, nice, hard case, hard, soft, medium case. The company logo is indented, very, very subtle, very nice. I like that. Nice little leather hand grip. I think it's real leather. Doesn't really smell like leather, but I don't know, it could be. So, pop this thing open, and what do we've got? We've got the gun. Don't mind the tape, I put that on there for personal preference. So, take this thing out. My first impressions, feels very, very solid in the hands. This does not feel like a gun that you buy and it like some, you know, you get that gun and it feels cheap. Like you get one of those really low-end rails and like, or you get, you know, the G3 when it came out. Sorry, felt like crap in my hands. You know, it felt like garbage. The G4 much better, but I gotta say, this feels like a solid gun. This feels like a $700 gun. Does it shoot like a $700 gun? Yes. Does it have all the features of a $700 gun? Yes. Does it have the efficiency of a $700 gun? No. Can you buy these anymore anyways? Doesn't matter. So you're going to get it used, you're going to deal with it. Once I get into the packaging, you pop off this little foam thing on top, remove it, and you've got the barrel kit and spares kit and the barrel stock. So the barrel kit, throw it away. If you have one and you got it, oh look, it matches the gun, it's pretty, it's garbage. Huge bores, and I mean, unless you have huge paint at your field or you're shooting monster ball or something, I highly recommend just throwing a freak on this and getting away with it. Yeah, it looks cool, but the tip doesn't line up super well with the back, and it's a 689 is the smallest bore, and the control bores are only like 4.5, 5 inches, so not really even worth my time, but I'm really picky. Nice little barrel cover on it, you know. Would I ever use it? Probably not, because I've got others, but it's, you know, nicely sturdy built. It's not just some cheap thing. It's, you know, it's alright. I'd use it if I had to. Spares kit. Got a little surprise in here. Comes with extra detents, a couple of little O-rings, and if you can see that little white nubby thingy, that's actually the spring for the trigger, because it comes in a way that you can go from spring to magnetic trigger return on that, which I thought was really awesome. Trigger is fully 3-way adjustable. You've got the post-travel, pre-travel, and activation point, so you can do that any way you like. I have not found any bounce on this gun. Other guns that I have set to, you know, really light pull, really small post-travel, I get a lot of bounce and it causes issues. Actually, I didn't find any of that with this. Only a little bit of slop, but I'll tell you why it's a little bit sloppy, because the trigger is about the width of a human hair. The only thing I don't like about this gun in my hands is the size of the trigger is very, very thin. Everybody complains about that, but, you know, it wasn't even really a production gun, so are we going to be able to rightfully nag? I was going to say bitch, but I shouldn't. No, we don't get to complain. Can you get aftermarket triggers for it? Maybe, I don't know, you can build one. Ryan Stanchfield, can you do it? I don't know, maybe. I'd love one. It'd be cool. In my hands, feels amazing, like I said. You know, it feels like a gun that's worth the money. Shoots very well. Amazing sound signature. Sound signature is phenomenal. Over the chronograph, when I first got it, I gotta tell you, I threw my barrel on, took a couple shots, and I was plus and minus 15, which was horrible. But then I underbored my paint a little bit and actually got it tuned up. Plus or minus 2 when you know what you're doing. So use a little bit better paint, shoots phenomenally. I did Draxis Basic through a 682 bore. When I do my tuning, I underbore everything a little bit. Shot great. In-game use, I'm going to go ahead and use my 8.4 backs. I've got a million of them. I think it'll shoot phenomenally during the game. I think it'll go really well. Very accurate, very good over the chronograph, very consistent in your hands. It feels good. You know what you're doing. One thing about it is I've got bigger hands. I'm kind of a lengthy guy, so it's a little bit small for me. I would love to have seen this pulled out, maybe even 3/4 of an inch, a little bit more out there. I'll try to wrap this up with tape or do something, or I'll build some extender for it. I don't know. I'm going to mess with this gun. It just looks like a fun little project to have. The bolt in it, easy to remove. I'm not going to because the O-rings, like the die guns, unfortunately, line up with the threading on the inside of the back cap / regulator. So I have a fear that if I keep taking the bolt out and all that, I'm going to start tearing up those O-rings, which I don't want to mess with because I've only got, what? I guess I have 5 spares, so I guess I can afford to. The barrel with the gun, it looks really nice on it. It does. You know, it looks cool. But it's garbage. Throw it away. The bores are too big and they don't line up with the tip. They're not even worth my time. The feed neck on it, yeah, it looks good. Not a clamping feed neck. Come on, $700. You can do a lot better than that. Throw it away. Trinity feed necks, pretty much all the ones that you find on the used market these days have the Trinity feed neck. Phenomenal little feed neck. Has the thumb wheel adjustment screw on the side, you know, and obviously the little wheelie, army, dealy, clampy thingy, which, you know, cool. When I first got the gun, I had a lot of questions about it. I didn't want to start running blind into things and blowing up O-rings and yada yada, so I put up a thread online on Nation. I found a support thread for the Rogues, and I said, hey, what's the input pressure on the gun? What lube do I use? What are the recommended factory settings on it? By the time I woke up, I mean, I posted that at 4 in the morning because I knew the gun was coming in this morning. By the time I woke up, I had 4 responses with very good information from people that I know to be very well versed in electro-pneumatics. I see these guys a lot on the Alien forums. I see these guys a lot on the Dangerous Power forums. I see these guys a lot on the Planet Eclipse forums. The guys that are going to be supporting you are going to be on PV Nation, and they know what they're talking about. Trust them. I had a Ninja regulator with all my shims pulled out, which I tested to 550 to 600 pounds, and an SLP reg. The SLP outperformed it 10 to 1. When I had this thing, you know, I shoot 280. The SLP felt phenomenal. When I tuned it to 280 with the 550 pound input, it felt horrible. It felt like I was shooting a drone, and I hate those guns. Sorry, Mac Dev. The clones are awesome, but the drones, why even waste my time with it? People have had issues with high pressure on the earlier versions. I don't know too much about the newer parts, where if you put high pressure into the gun and you just started turning the air on with a little knob on the front, it would start blowing out that O-ring, and once it started, it wouldn't really stop, and it'd just be an issue forever. I have not run into that. I've aired it up about 5 times. Probably my favorite little quirk about the gun is actually the noise that it makes when you turn the air off. It is a complete bleed, so as soon as you turn the air off, it flushes the gun. You don't have to shoot it once to clear it at all. But it sounds like a little laser beam going in reverse. You're going to have to take my word for it. Just turn your air on, turn it off, listen to it, giggle. It's fun. Like I said earlier, this gun has a really cool sound signature when you're using it. It's like a pew, hush, puff kind of thing. I'll do a shooting video on Saturday, or maybe even tomorrow. I don't want to have to go fill my air tanks again. But, you know, really good shooter in the hands. Accurate gun, feels great. You know, has its quirks like everything else does. Support for this gun, official factory support for this gun is non-existent. Yeah, people, oh, you can call the guys in Taiwan and sell them and they'll help get you new parts for it. No, they won't. I called months ago asking to see what the availability was, no response. I've heard from guys who sent their guns back to them who said, okay, yeah, we'll get you the new parts, we'll send it back, no problem, what's your address? Here, this is the address, send it to us, we'll get it, blah, blah, blah. They sent their guns in. It's been half a year. They haven't heard an email back, they haven't gotten a response back, and they have not gotten their guns back. So, you know, factory support, official technical support is pretty much non-existent. I've heard that there's a guy on the East Coast who was trained to tech these, or I think his name is Chuck, maybe that was the guy, or maybe that's just user, some people throw his name out. So it does exist. You just got to dig around a little bit for it. I have not had any issues with it. I don't see any reason why you would need to call tech support. Very easy gun to get into, very easy to lube the bolt. It actually has a Delrin rammer slider thing that the bolt slides on rather than the aluminum one, so I think that'll actually prove really good. I use Dow 33 on it, maybe a little bit of trifle in the future. I don't want to get that to puff up. I'll see how this does in cold weather. It's about to get really, really, really cold here in Washington State. We've had a very mild winter so far. It's December 12th, 2012. Oh my god, it's 12/12/12! Yeah, I was drunk on 11/11/11. I don't want to hear it. Overall impressions of the gun, if you can find it, they're selling for about $450 used on PB Nation. I haven't seen one sold used. I mean, other than this one that I got in the trade offer for my Alias, but I haven't seen one of these posted since February. If you can find it, especially if you're a smaller player, if you play Snake, if you're a small guy, buy it. You'll love it. It's great. The efficiency, I don't think, is there. I got 3 pods shooting my 45-45, which, you know, is a little 45. I threw my SLP onto my 68 tonight, so I will get an official efficiency review by the end of the weekend. I'm just going to fill it up once and shoot it straight until it's done, you know, during games, so I'll have an actual in-game efficiency for it, which should be good. I'm expecting 6 pods. I'd be happy with that. I shoot 5 pods in a game, maybe. Maybe. If I wipe enough hits to stay alive long enough. You know how that goes. If you can find one, get it. If you know how to tune them, or if you know how to do a little work on them, if you want to experiment with them, I'd like to see some. If you guys have one of these laying around and you're not really using them and you want to do some little... If you want to see if you can find a trigger to fit it, or if you want to find a way to bulb out that little front grip, let me know. If you have a good idea on how to get this a little bit more ergonomic in the hands for the larger-handed people, larger-armed people, so that's a little too small for me. But with that size comes the weight. It's a phenomenal weight. Very solid in the guns, has a good weight when you're holding it. Nice little snatch grip on the back, the whole thing. Very, very solid. The anodizing is very good. I don't know the history of this gun personally. I got it from a guy who I assume got it from a guy who I assume got it from a guy. I mean, it's Nation. What are you going to do? A little bit slick for me compared to some of the other finishes on guns. So, you know, you can see my little grip tape on there. I'm not covering up scratches. But Alex Hodge, shout out. Thank you for putting these little finger ridges up there. Every company needs to do this. I don't care what size, shape the reg is. It feels really, 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 really good in my hands. Very ergonomic, very intuitive to manipulate. Actually, it looks like the Geo3 eye covers, like just the general shape of them. I think that's kind of different. The stickers are milled into it. There's a little milling slot they cut in, and then they put the jewels on there. I might take those off just to save them because I don't want them falling off in the field because I know how that goes. Another really cool thing about the gun is the back cap, where the pressure is adjusted. It actually says increased pressure, decreased pressure. I have a lot of guns that go opposite ways, or clockwise, counterclockwise. I go from Intimidator to Ego to Alien to everything, and it's like, oh, counterclockwise, clockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, turn it up, turn it down, and I blow regs all the time. That'll save your life. Overall, just give me some feedback. If you thought the information that I presented was relevant and accurate, please post up that you liked it. If I didn't go over something, or if you see me going over a gun review and you say, hey, why didn't you talk about that? That's important. Let me know, and I'll throw it in there. I'll do, you know, this is the first of my rough draft. I'd like to keep doing this until I have it down to a science. By the time I'm done doing videos for this gun, I want to have a checklist of this is A, B, C, D, E, and F, important things to go over, and then I can, you know, typically BS like I do about the rest of it. But, you know, let me know. What do you think? What should I have added? What should I have taken out? Recommended upgrades for this gun. Usually I do recommended upgrades. There are no recommended upgrades for this gun. If you have a version 1, too bad. If you've got the Rogue Plus version 2, don't mess with it. You know, I'd like to see a bolt that makes it even smoother than it already is, obviously, because every gun can always be smoother no matter what it is. Is it going to happen? No. I may hit up Pooty and see if he knows anything or if he can polish it, but then it would just increase wear on the bolt, so it's probably not even worth it. Maybe some X-rings. That'd be cool. I should try that. I should put some X-rings on the bolt, see if that works. That might be kind of cool. There are also settings on the board for, like, return dwell and return pressure, post pressure, blah, blah, blah stuff that I've never seen before. So maybe that needs to be adjusted and make it a little bit smoother shot. But, you know, it's a cool little gun. Oh, before I forget, I didn't forget about the board. Well, I mean, I guess I did, but programmable, blah, blah, blah. Let's just assume that I talked about that and that I talked about how awesome ASA is and stuff like that. So, thanks for the 15 minutes of your time. Hit me up. I'd like some feedback. I want to do more of these in the future. Obviously, I'm going to be getting a haircut soon because I feel like a hippie. See, now I look fancy, though. I've got my little button-up shirt, and my hair goes to the side. Don't say Hitler, but it's... See? Now I feel like a businessman. Now I feel like a hobo. No, that did not work the way I wanted it to. Anyways, thank you.